of the Doctor.
Welcome, everybody, to issue 69. This is part 2 for issue 69. Thank you guys for joining us, subscribing, and hitting the like button on YouTube, Facebook, and on our podcast. Kane is here with me. How you doing today, my friend?
Captain, how are you doing? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Yeah, I'm recovering. I went out and visited some of the inmates last night. I broke curfew and went out to visit some folks. So I was recovering a little bit today because now after I did the partying, you and I met up to do a recording for Midnight Movie at 2 in the morning. Is that?
Yeah,
Is that what time we met up at?
Yeah.
I just know when I looked at my clock before I passed out, it was right around 5. So.
Literally went all night long.
Yeah.
Party. If you guys have never seen that movie, check it out. If you're a big 80s fan of 80s music like New Order and all that stuff, really good movie. It's called 24-Hour Party. It's literally what me and the captain did last night. 24-hour partying, watching some Constantine. And that should be up on the channel in a couple weeks, probably.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah, that'll be one in the bucket, so to speak, for us. So that way we have that, because we're pretty much packed up for the next couple of weeks as far as shows go.
Yes, we are.
So this is again part 2 of issue 69 because last week something happened. The gremlins came out in our system, or at least in my system, and I. Apparently in the recording, I sounded like Barry White. King sounded fine. Video came out fine, but something happened on my voice for some reason. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was during. I think it was that Colt 45 I had earlier in the day that fucking did it. So, but. Oh man, I was like, what the heck? I tried to clean it up, do all the fancy stuff to try to get this working, and I finally just said, screw it, I can't. Spent 2 days, and I would try to fix it, but yeah, the pitching was just awful. But we get to kind of revisit, some of this stuff. But we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room this week, a big announcement. So let's go ahead and jump into the admissions board, and then we can get started there.
News from the admissions board.
All right. I guess I'll let you go ahead because I know you were somewhat waving the flag and you were always wanting to bring this up. So I think I'll let you go ahead and kick this off.
Well, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. This week, HBO, actually, if you guys are fans of Vero or Zack Snyder had a watch party for Man of Steel, which is one of Captain and my favorite movies, very underrated. And during this watch party, a couple people chimed in. Henry Cavill joined with his mustache, by the way, which I thought was kind of clever. And one of the fans asked him, where is the Snyder Cut? And Henry Cavill looked at Zach and said, should you show him? Sure, let's show him. So he flashed over the screen. And what do we see on this other screen? We see the Justice League, May 2021. The Snyder Cut is coming to HBO. That's the big news. I guess the big thing is the fans won. They got their way. It could be dangerous. But the precedent, this was done this has been going on for almost 3 years since the original Justice League came out in 2017. Reportedly received, I think the box office for the opening weekend was $94 million. Big disappointment. Didn't lose money, but didn't really gain a lot of money as well. And there's always been that rumor of the Snyder Cut. And I've always said before, one of my favorite new sayings is, where there is smoke, there is fire. And that fire definitely has been extinguished. We're going to get it next year. About $20 to $30 million it's going to cost, especially VFX, probably a couple of voiceovers. I don't think any original cast is going to come back to do any lines. But, yeah, the Snyder Cut does exist, and we're going to get it next year.
Yeah, I knew there was a Snyder Cut out there. I was just sick of hearing about it because, honestly, there are different cuts for all sorts of movies. You have your director's cut. There's different ones out there. I'm not a fan of the idea of the Snyder Cut. I don't think it's going to be everything everybody wants. I mean, to be honest, I think you're toying with a tainted legacy to begin with DC and the Justice League. And I think when this comes out, you're going to have your true haters that are just going to like the Snyder Cut because it's different from the original one, but it's not. I just don't see it going to be any different. I've read the script of what Snyder's Cut is going to be. You're going to have extra Cyborg backstory. You're going to see Flash more active. We're going to see... just drew a blank on her name. Barry's girlfriend. Iris,
Iris.
you're going to see Iris in there. You're going to see a clip of Darkseid, but that's about it. It's not like he's being groomed to become the main baddie in that whole movie.
You're gonna see a couple clips.
Yeah, but I just don't see it's going to change that much. It's still going to look like Darkseid, or not Darkseid, but it's still going to look like Steppenwolf. We're still going to have all the same things. The things that we did not like about this movie to begin with, or that people didn't like about it, it's still going to be in there. It really is. I don't think a lot of people have these rose-colored glasses about the movie, about the Snyder Cut, that it's gonna fix all the problems, and I just don't see it that way. I think it could cause more problems down the road, because if it stinks, it's going to cause more damage to the DC extended universe than good.
Well, he's basically getting a chance to finish his movie, and that's the big thing. I mean, it's whether through circumstance not of his own that he was forced off the project, so we did not get to see his movie. But now we're going to see his movie, and according to him, what you saw on screen was basically 1/4 of what is actually his.
Right? Yeah.
So there's 3/4 out there. That's a lot more of the movie.
It is. But again, I just don't believe it's going to correct
end,
anything.
Well, it's not going to correct anything.
It's not going to make anything better. I don't think so. It's just going to satisfy the fanboys.
It's kind of like the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. That trumped it a little bit. Like the 2-hour version I saw in the movie theater was very wonky. The 3-hour cut was vastly an improvement. That was the thing. A lot more Clark Kent, a lot more connectivity, and I think that's what you're going to get with this Justice.
I don't think we are. That's sorry. That's the one. That's mine. I just don't think that much more is going to change, because I've read the script. I've seen the script. You've seen the script. Mm-hmm. Not much difference is happening. Again, like I said, few tweaks, but nothing that's going to correct the overall bad things about the movie.
No, the beginning to end is going to be the same, but I'm just talking about somewhere in the middle. You're going to get a lot more stuff.
Again, I don't know if that stuff's going to be enough for me to correct it and to say, hey, this is it.
What was the original theatrical cut? It was like 2 hours? And his cut is about like 4. So you're going to get a lot more of a movie.
You're probably not going to. They're probably going to narrow it down, though. You're not going to get his full cut. You're going to get his version edited down. It probably will still be around the 2-hour mark. So I don't. You're not going to get the full thing. I don't think HBO would do that.
Get the full thing. I think if you're going to pay all that money, you're going to get the full thing.
Yeah, which to me is just nuts. Why are they doing that for $20-30 million? They can make 3 other movies.
True, but right now, not many people or the VFX guys are working right now. Everybody's in this COVID, lockdown. So.
Oh, they can't start this until it's blocked down, and those guys are going to go right back to work doing their other stuff.
Well, they could do it now. You could send them some disk drives and something like that. To
yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it doing that much.
A lot of stuff now, and actually, I bet you they have started already. They just made that announcement, but I think
he's probably started working on his own because he's got all of his cuts, and he's probably done what he does. But again, you still need $20 million. You still need $20 million, $30 million to correct something. To me, that's just. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. I just don't see it doing what people think it's going to do.
And most of the people on that Vero meeting, that watch party, were a lot of his production assistants, his special effects guys. So that was not done unintentionally. I think it was done intentionally. I think.
Oh yeah, no, it was. Yeah. Well, a lot of people already knew it. I mean, it was already in the rumblings that the reason he was doing that watch along was for that announcement and that announcement alone. That was already in the rumblings weeks beforehand, before he even, before the announcement ever came. They knew, okay, he's got something cooking, and he's doing a watch along again, because he's done a few of those.
Yeah, he's done I think 2. There was the Batman one, and then we did Man of Steel, and
he's done the Man of Steel. He's done the Man of Steel a couple of times. That's not the first one he's done, but what I find is these psychotic fanboys are going out and destroying their DVDs.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
I never picked up the DVD because I was just so disappointed. That basically has been a one and done movie for me. I think I've seen it twice, and I was like, okay, that's it. Don't need to see it again. But we'll have to wait till next year. 2021 is going to be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they're able to do to fix it. I mean, again, like you were saying, none of the actors are returning. It's all just basically special effects. And
basically whatever scenes they shot, which I think is not Snyder Cut, is going to be there. And apparently a couple different scenes here and there. I think I don't know if Batman's going to die in this one. There was a rumor that he's supposed to die in this one. I don't know.
But no, the ones I got was more Cyborg, more Flash, More of like a story of what was going on with Cyborg's mother and what the whole thing with his dad.
Well, I heard more time travel with Barry too. Apparently,
You're gonna see you're gonna see the
PBS scene.
yeah, you're gonna see that, but you're also gonna see the treadmill. So I mean, again, that's just more of Flash. Like I was saying, more of Flash, more of Cyborg. Just like I said, that's just that little ending of you're going to see Darkseid. A couple like literally the ending of the movie is there's a boom tube and they see Darkseid on the other side, and that's how that
I
move.
think you'll see him too in the beginning when they start talking about like the history of the Mother Boxes. He's supposed to be involved. So I think the scene with Steppenwolf where he's fighting everybody, like the war of the Atlanteans. And
Yeah, well, yeah, you see. I think it's you see the old
I think
gods
it's supposed
fighting.
To be him there, yeah. Because they mentioned some stuff, but like I said, I'm curious to see what they're gonna do, and they're working on it now. So look for that in 2021. What you got, Captain?
For me, actually, we got the chance to see another DC movie television series start this week from DC Universe and also CW. Thank you for DC Universe for sending it over to CW. But the introduction to Stargirl with Luke Wilson. And unfortunately, I do not remember the young lady's name that is doing so. Yeah, Breck. Yeah, and I thought it was great. It did not have the CW teen love thing going on. It was really about this girl and her stepfather kind of trying to find their place, within this new family, but discovering out that, she is actually his former partner's daughter. It doesn't come out.
Hasn't been confirmed.
The picture has been confirmed. That is Mikhail. That's him in the picture of in her locket is of it's him. He doesn't know it because he didn't know much about Starman's external life. So, and of course, she was too young. But I think it was done very well. I like the story. Very cool little nod during the beginning where we see Stargirl and she's packing up her stuff, and they do a pan over of the trophies. That was actually Jeff Johns' sister's trophies who passed away recently. So it was a nod from the producer or to the producer of showing his sister's trophies, and that she's being sort of immortalized within that. So I thought that was a nice little touch. And I just think that the introductions to the villains were good. I was talking to one of our friends, and they were saying that don't you think it's kind of too quick for her to meet one of the main baddies so quick in the first episode? I was like, well, if you follow something you and I've always talked about, if you follow the hero's journey, that's part of the hero's journey is you meet your villain first and you lose. Then you go back, you regroup, you train, you become better. Then you're gonna go ahead and take him out. So I thought it was good. Did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I did actually. I think the night of it premiered, I got home from work and I checked it out, and I was like, wow, this is like the opening 10-minute intro was just everything to me. Like you just see they don't waste any time. It's Justice Society versus the Anti-Justice Society, whatever they're called. The
Injustice.
Society?
Yep.
Okay, and just seeing all the little nods. You see Jay Garrick's helmet on the floor. You see I think an apparition, which is supposed to be the Alan Scott Green Lantern around there.
There was a lot of green. Yeah, there was a lot of green flashes going on. I wasn't quite sure what that was.
And then you see Wildcat dead.
Mm-hmm.
That's right away gets thrown from the house. And he's dead. And what is this? Not Captain Midnight, or is it Captain Midnight?
No. You have Dr.
Midnight.
Yeah, I think it was Dr. Midnight.
Dr. Midnight. You see, and then you see Starman in all his glory with the cosmic staff, which I never thought I wanted to see on screen, but they actually kind of make Starman kind of cool. I was like, okay, I'm in. You saw a little bit of Grundy, not too much, but you get to see these members of the Injustice Society, which I don't know too much about them. Brainwave, Icicle, I know is supposed to be Killer Frost's father. I think we saw a version of him on Flash. I forgot the other two.
Who did we have? We had Icicle. We had who was it? Sportsmaster. Yeah, Sportsmaster was on there. That Sportsmaster and Tigress. Those are the only other ones that I know of. I'm like, okay, I'm recognizing them.
Yeah, and it was cool how you saw Brainwave had his son there. That was kind of cool. I mean, going back to the whole teenage drama little thing. I dug it. I dug it a lot. I mean, it's interesting. I guess what they're going to do is they're going to make it the second generation of the Justice Society fighting this Injustice Society. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to build that up through 13 episodes.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm kind of curious, especially because I can't wait for them to actually touch into like Solomon Grundy. Hopefully, they have like just an episode about him.
I wonder in that one scene. I think it's where is it Icicle? He's in the graveyard. I was wondering if that's where Grundy is now, and they had to like just put him to bed for a while.
Possibly, yeah. Let him sleep.
That's the one thing I was like,
So there is a cool connection though to one of the Justice Society members, our man, the actor that played that, Lou Ferrigno Jr.
Ooh.
So nice little Marvel nod to that. So yeah, he was in there. So I would hope. I know it's a very short season. I would kind of hope we would maybe get some flashbacks because the actors that they got for the Justice Society, the ones that passed away, were like some really good actors. I mean, they weren't cheap folks. So it's kind of interesting to see what direction they're going to go, and if they're going to maybe do a jumping back and forth of Stripe remembering being part of Starman and in that team.
There was kind of one moment that I was not chuckled at, but it was kind of funny when Starman is near death, and basically he's like, I want you to give this stab. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for somebody else. It's not. Trust me,
It's
you're not the one.
Yeah. Don't even think about it.
Don't even think about it. It's for somebody else. And then he dies. It's like, okay, you throw a little bit of humor in there in the midst of all this sadness. It's like, okay, I dig it.
That's why I think I really liked it, because it didn't follow that typical CW. And again, it's not CW. It is DC Universe. So I think DC learned from their, I don't want to call them mistakes, but from their productions and their work on Titans. And I think they learned and made a change to their stories, because Titans was good, but there was just something missing in Titans, and I think with Stargirl, I think they're kind of capturing that. So can't wait to see what direction it goes.
And you get to see the what is it called, that robot, the Iron Patriot robot,
Stripe.
at the end. Stripe, yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to see him at the end, which is kind of cool. They kind of tied it in together with the car he's driving. It's like, oh, okay, so that's why he's gonna be around.
Yeah, well, no, it was always the book back in the 90s was the Star and Stripes, because it was Star Girl and Stripe, and they were just this duo. Is the same thing, because he was a little bit older, so she was there to kind of take care of him. And in those series, you would see the elder Wildcat. You would see him still out there training, but he's in his 50s, 60s instead of being dead.
I wonder how they're gonna pull that off with another Wildcat.
That's what I'm kind of curious about.
And they're gonna have another Wildcat. They're gonna have another Hour Man.
Yeah, everybody's coming back around, and so that's where I'm kind of like tiptoeing about giving a complete hey, yes, this is awesome, because how are they going to do that? And I'm never been a true big fan of the kid superhero thing. It always seemed kind of weird to me. Yeah. Teenagers and maybe early 20s get that, but these kids seem more like they're I think what they say 15, 16. Young teens.
You're talking about juniors in high school.
Yeah.
So they're young kids, and now they're gonna go fight crime, and that's gonna be pretty weird, because the Injustice Society had been around for so long. These guys are like, what? They got to be in their early 50s now. Be fighting these kids.
Well, you got to think. Well, I bet you a couple of them, like the Wizard, probably has like anti-aging thing or something going on. Icicle probably doesn't age either.
Did you not see? There was somebody in the mansion in the beginning, first 10 minutes, and I think he was supposed to be some sort of wizard. Not wizard. He looked like a magician.
Yeah, I think that might be the Wizard.
Okay, because I didn't see him you just saw him in the beginning. And that was it. I was like, I wonder if it's going to be like a connection to Zatanna, but it could be nothing.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that guy is still.
At first I thought it might have been the Wizard from Harley Quinn, the little midget guy.
Oh.
I was like, are they going to reuse him again? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, just make him a little bit taller. Right?
Yeah. All right, but you guys make sure you do check that out. That is DC Universe or CW. I don't believe it's going to be part of the HBO Max package. I think that was
not at the moment. No.
Yeah, I think that was. I think those were just being reserved for Titans and
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. Yeah, which we definitely know that Doom Patrol will be showing up on the. I think in a couple of months, the second season, if I
Next
remember
month?
correctly.
Is it June 26th?
Yeah. So yeah.
Can't wait for that one. So, I guess another big elephant in the room is that last week, literally not last week, probably last Tuesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah.
Ruby Rose announced through Twitter, Instagram that she was leaving Batwoman after season 1.
Mm-hmm.
And
Shocker.
it's a shocker
Yeah.
because, I mean, it depends what you read. Apparently, it was a mutual thing.
Yeah, the last thing I read on this most recent one was kind of a mutual, where it was the hours. She didn't want to take the hours to play a lead. You know, she's okay with playing something else, but the hours it takes to be the lead of a show, that's a lot of hours for her, and she wasn't up for that.
When you're number one on that call sheet, I've listened to Michael Rosenbaum's podcast, Inside Michael Rosenbaum, and Stephen Amell on there, and he was talking about the rigors of with him, even him and Tom Wheeling. They were number 1 and 1A on that call sheet, so you're there for 12 hours a day at least.
Yeah,
and you got to be there for pickups. You got to be there. I mean, you're the lead of that show, so you're pretty much going to be at every scene. You got to do dialogue. You got to do action scenes, and I guess it just took the toll on her for that first season. I know she had an injury too that almost cost her back. So
Yeah,
that could have been a factor also. But it's kind of unheard of to have like a main character leave after one season. You don't.
Not really. I was doing the research. There have been quite a few. You look at the Darrens from Bewitched, Catwoman from the 1960s. You have lost some main characters, pretty quickly. In fact, I mean, if you want to talk, they talk about. I was reading one of the articles where they're talking about shows that it continued to exist once they changed their original lead character, and probably one of the biggest ones is your show, Doctor Who.
Yeah, that was.
You really drill down. You know, that is one that it's about losing its main actors consistently.
They've done it for over 50
Yeah.
years.
So hopefully they find somebody. There's been a few talks out there. The one I thought was kind of cool. I'm trying to remember her name. Gina something or other. She plays on a 9-9 Brooklyn 9-9. She's the Spanish.
Yeah, I heard of her. She was rumored for like She-Hulk too.
Yeah, I can definitely see her. She's a tall woman. She's got the nice shoulder build, but still very fit and looks flexible. And her, and there was a couple other ones that have been looking out for it. The only thing I thought was kind of strange, and I did mention this in our little short last week, was WB is looking for somebody in the LGBT community, which I'm okay with. If that's go with that, because you're going to get that fan base, you're going to go with that, but don't just settle for who you think is the best in that community. Look in that community to start with, but if you don't find what you feel is the best, start looking outwards.
Hire the best actress. That's it. Doesn't matter if she's straight or gay.
I think I saw somebody, one of our friends, on a different posted on a different feed other than ours. Damn him! But he was talking about. He's like, if they really would have done it, that you would have never had a Stinson. You would have never had Barney Stinson if they went to go look for that kind of sexist type of character. You would never expect that, and you would never think to go look for an actor who's openly gay.
What about Sheldon from Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, well,
same thing with him.
Sheldon was a different story. Sheldon is asexual, so he doesn't go male female. He was always very gender neutral when you watched him. But when I take I want to take an extreme. I'm going to take Barney, because Barney was the extreme of it.
Huge womanizer.
Yeah,
in real life. He's gay.
Yeah, he's a gay family man. Yeah, I mean, so definitely go and hit your mark for what you feel you need to for the social meanings. But if you don't find it, don't settle. Don't just go, well, that's the best one we can find. No, just get somebody else.
You never know. I mean, these auditions, like one straight woman can walk in there and just blow everybody away.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading some reports also that did when they casted Ruby, she's relatively unknown, I would guess, unless you watch Orange Is the New Black or the John Wick movies
or Meg.
But they were saying maybe for a role like this that you want to get like A-lister, somebody who's had previous experience doing that work. Or I heard Blake Lively's name being tossed around. I was like, she's good, but I don't really see her as Batwoman too much.
I've always been a fan of taking the unknown characters, very much like George Lucas did with Star Wars. You're creating iconic characters. You don't want post or prior baggage to come along with it. So if you take Blake, you're going to see Blake a lot of times. Ruby, even though it's wearing a red wig, I didn't see Ruby, even though I'd seen her in other things. I really didn't see Ruby, and I think they just go with your gut and find the best one. I think one of the favorite ones I was reading, because she quit on her Twitter page for a little bit, and one of the things was that she was getting bashed by the gay community for not being gay enough.
Yeah, it was
I was like, what? You want what? Like I don't. I'm not sure what you're looking
how
for.
gay do you want her to be? I mean, she just duh. It was said in the first pilot episode that she was gay.
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't hidden. It wasn't.
Else you could do?
Yeah, I don't. Again, that's one of those weird ones. I'm like, to me, I guess that's always been one of my things. I don't care about the character being gay, straight, whatever. I look at their story and their character and what are they doing, not about who they're doing. That's not important to me. That doesn't change.
That means nothing.
That doesn't change who the person is. If you only accept a person because of their sexual orientation, I don't want to know you. I mean, I think that's horrible. I would prefer to see the character be the character and the person be who they are. Again, I may sound like the middle-aged white guy, but I have a lot of gay friends out there, and it's not about I am, but it's not about that. It's about the person that they are. There's some straight people out there that I can't stomach being around, but it's about the person they are, and then the sexual orientation is just something extra for them. And I've always been against people worrying about what the sex is of a character.
I agree with it. I don't want to mention who he is, but we've had somebody that's been on the show that has a different sexual orientation, and it was never brought up. Like, he's been one of my best friends for probably a couple of years now, and it was like, when he told me, I was like, okay, fine. But I liked you before. You didn't even have to tell me that.
Yeah.
It was never brought up. It was never a fact. It was never anything. It doesn't mean that you just accept the person for who they is and how they are. And the strange thing about the whole Ruby Rose thing is that I think I previously told you, like, for a while, I didn't think she was right for being Batwoman, like the first 10 or 11 episodes. But then after that, I thought she kind of grew into the role.
Yeah, she did.
I saw some improvement.
She found herself. She found herself and found the role.
It took her a while, which is kind of sad to see her go. I mean, I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, she sucked. No, I thought she kind of grew into it after a while. And we were starting to see the Kate Kane that we saw from the comics, or even in one of the animated movies as well. And it's a big loss, but we're going to see what WB is going to do. They got a while because I think their production schedule is not going to start till probably the fall, and the premiere's not going to be till 2021.
Yeah, well, but they're doing their crossover between Superman and Batwoman. So what's that going to... Well, how's that going to work out? Is that when we're going to see the character change? Because they jumped to a different... Maybe they went to a different universe and got a different Kate Kane.
Do you do the multiverse thing again? I mean, even after Crisis? I mean...
Multiverse is still there, and like you say, that's something DC plays in that sandbox a lot, so it may be a way of doing it.
It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility, right? I mean, they could do that, like, hey, this Kate Kane died, and like somebody else went to another universe, and this Kate Kane was here. I mean, they did it with her sister. Like, they had like two forms of her sister on there. Too, so, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll
definitely will. All right, my next one actually comes from the world of Marvel. So many rumors, speculations rolling around, and this one, I think a lot of these rumors are starting to boil over because of our Prime story that we talked about Zack Snyder. I think a lot of other people are starting to go, well, what about this one? What about that one? They're talking. I think the Ares cut for Suicide Squad with Mojo. Yeah, I'm like, guys, just again, I go back to that. It's like you made the movie, you release it. Don't be a George Lucas. Let it go. Release your movie out to the world and let it breathe and take life. Quit fucking with things. But apparently, some rumors are going around that a few of the movies from Sony in the Spider-Man universe, they're being developed. We have looked like we're going to get one for Jackpot, as well as Morbius, and of course, we have the new Venom coming out. Let there be carnage. But also a focus. There's been rumors for Kraven. There has been one for Silk, and now there's a new one boiling over for Madam Web. So they are really truly building the Spider Verse, which is great. I think Spider-Man, it does have one of the more interesting character bases and probably rogues gallery when you really look at his.
He has the second best rogues to Batman.
Yeah. When you look at Marvel,
Batman's 1A, Spider-Man's probably like 1B. They're neck and neck.
Well, like with Marvel, Spider-Man's got the list, the A-listers, and then Batman's got the A-listers on DC. But they're talking next Spider-Man movie won't be hitting the theaters until like November 5th, 2021. But because of the rumors of somebody returning to the Marvel universe, Sam Raimi, there was another one kicking around that he may be conquering a live-action Spider-Verse or Into the Spider-Verse and bringing Tobey back to play. Basically, if you saw Into the Spider-Verse, the old Peter Parker goes there and kind of mentors Miles, and then something happens. I've already seen the movie. Sorry, guys. I know you're a Raimi fan. I am to a point. He put a bad taste in my mouth once, and I have not yet recovered. And I don't want to see them doing the same movie again. Like Disney's doing it. They're taking their animated shit and turning it into live action. Now what they're going to do is take an animated movie and turn it into live action. Too. I was like, no, we've already seen the story, and it was great. That is a perfect story for Spider-Man, especially Into the Spider-Verse. It wasn't truly a Spider-Verse movie. When you actually delve into the Spider-Verse, there are more Spider men and women out there that they really didn't touch upon. But it was one of those ones that popped up that possibly Tobey Maguire, revisiting Spider-Man with Sam.
If you're gonna do it, you got to bring Nicolas Cage back as Spider-Man Noir. That's my only thing. I want. Just bring Nick Cage back. You don't even have to bring Tobey back or Andrew Garfield. Bring Nick Cage back. Hell, make him a Spider-Man Noir movie.
I would prefer that. If they're going to do more Spider-Verses, do Spider-Verse, do the one-offs, yeah.
Yeah, dude, what is that one that you were telling me about that you dug, like Spider-Man 2099? Do him.
Yeah.
Do other stuff. You don't have to do a Spider-Verse movie. I mean, is this something I'm clamoring for? No. I mean, will I watch it? Yeah, but I don't want it. I just, take the individual ones.
Yeah. Again, what they're doing with the other ones, where they're talking about Craven, talking about Silk, talking about Madam Web. That's what I think Madam Web would be a weird one to do because she's.
That's a strange.
Yeah, that one was when I saw that pop up. I was like, what? Craven, definitely. Silk, I'm a huge fan of Silk. I think that would be
cool. Silk would be not a bad one.
I mean, you want to talk about hitting all your marks for the movies and making sure everybody gets their mad respects. You're going to have a female, Korean, Mexican, New Yorker. I mean, you just check marked off everybody. All right, everybody's happy. And again, I'd love to see Silk. I think she's one of the more interesting
she's
Spider
cool
characters.
I
Yeah,
dig her a lot. So
a lot of the Spider characters are very Peter Parker-esque. Even to me, I do dig Miles, but Miles is just Peter Parker. He really is. Other than the fact that he comes from a not a broken home, but a true home, he's just still he's still Peter Parker. He's still a teenage kid dealing with teenage issues.
I know that Spider-Verse movie was basically a Miles movie, but I tell you what, I like the other Spider-Man better.
Oh yeah.
Like I dug Gwen. Like I was never a big Gwen Stacy Spider-Man fan or Spider-Woman, whatever she is. I dug her. I mean, Spider-Man Noir to me stole the movie.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
I thought he was the best. Fat Peter Parker was cool too. You had the Japanese one, and come on, Spider-Ham. That movie's waiting to happen. Just do it now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do it on Disney Plus. I mean, you make it animated. I mean, you did it right there. I mean, who's the voice of Peter Parker? Spider-Ham. Was it Patton?
Yeah, I think that was Patton Oswalt.
He was hysterical.
I love the fact. Listen to I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was Collider, way back before Collider isn't Collider anymore. They had somebody sit down with the creators of Into the Spider-Verse, like an open forum, like Q&A thing, and it was great. Somebody asked, well, what else did you ask Nick Cage to say? And they're like, we asked Nick Cage to say all stupid things that we knew would never be in the movie, just so we could have a recording of Nick Cage saying it in that voice. So they're like, no, literally, we made him say just shit that would never be in here, but we wanted to hear him say it that way. And even Nick's like, you sure you're gonna? Like, oh no, go ahead, just say that.
What was that one line? I need is a ballroom. Let's dance.
How's his coat moving? There's no breeze.
Oh man, that's the one they should do. Screw the Spider-Verse. Just do Nick Cage
Yeah.
as Spider-Man Noir. I don't care. Just give me that.
And honestly, to be honest, that is probably one of my favorite ones. I have a few that I really do like from the Spider-Verse. Again, like I said, Silk is definitely one, but the Spider Noir is really a cool story.
It would be a cool story, and you could set it in black and white. Nobody would have an issue. I mean, he's called Spider-Man Noir for a reason. I mean, you could make a really cool movie. I mean, just don't make it dark. Don't do that. Just let it be what it is. I mean, you could have like the old-timey language on there, like, "Hey, my name's Spider-Man Noir. I walk into an office one day." Just do all those old-timey stuff. I mean,
Yeah, you see.
yeah, shall we see over here? Come right over there. See?
So that is the goings on in the Spider-Verse. Yes, Spider-Man is still connected into the MCU. I think he's got one or two more picture deals.
Yeah, he's got one solo film left with the co-op him and Sony, and then he's got another one, which could be a future Avengers movie. I don't know.
Yeah, which I would hope.
And then he should just go back to Sony. I don't think the MCU needs him anymore. To be honest.
Not really. No, he's made his mark. Unless they're gonna do something.
Unless they do Secret Wars.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Well, they're working on Nova. I've heard some questioning things about Nova that Kevin's doing, but I haven't gotten a full.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten a full report, so I'm not going to say anything. But
yeah, I need to dive in more deeper in that Nova story. So
yeah,
things
I mean, I hope they do Nova. Nova is, again, I'm not a major DC fan, or not DC, Marvel fan, but Nova was always one of those ones I always found interest in.
He was cool, very cool elements. He's very Rocketeer-like because he had that helmet he had to use and get all his powers, and his dad had it, and it was his son. It was interesting. I mean, he could be a cool character. I thought he was going to appear in Guardians too.
He should have, honestly. I mean, that's if you're going to introduce somebody, that should have been the time.
They got time.
Yeah.
MCU's big now, so.
All right, so what do you got next?
Guess who's joining The Mandalorian or has joined The Mandalorian for season 2?
Oh, another one?
Oh, yeah. Timothy
Kind of-
Oliphant.
What kind of budget are you going to have?
I don't know.
Jesus
Probably all
Christ.
the actors right now. Timothy Oliphant's going to join season 2. Rumors are out there saying that he might play Boba Fett, but I don't see that because they already cast Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Some people have even said, and this is just a rumor, not legit, but if you put 2 and 2 together, and if you look at Timothy Oliphant, he's got that, because he's been on Deadwood, he's been on Justified, which is a great TV show on FX. He's got that sheriff type of martial old cowboy look, and people have mentioned one of your favorite characters, Mr. Cad Bane.
Yeah. Again, I kind of would throw your argument that you've used in the past, like we talked about Christian Bale and the Eternals. Why would you cover his face?
Yeah.
Or not the Eternals. I'm sorry, Thor with the Love and Thunder.
Yeah, the CGI,
Why?
yeah,
I mean, you're talking about again an actor who has character in his face. When you talk about Clint Eastwood, you talk about the character in his face because of the lines and that's Timothy. He has it would just be very strange to cover him. A Cad Bane-esque type character, sure, go with that. Go more with a true gritty bounty hunter in that vein. Maybe he killed, maybe he's walking around with Cad's hat because he killed him.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, there's a lot of cool things
Yeah.
you can do with a guy like that. I mean, necessarily it doesn't have to be Cad Bane. Will it be cool? Sure, but it's just.
And he's got that. That was something I was talking to you about that, and for you guys listening and watching, do yourself a really good favor. Take some time, a couple hours, watch on Disney Plus. There's a show just came out a couple weeks ago called Gallery, and what they do is it's behind the scenes, and what they're primarily focusing on right now, since it is the only original storytelling show. They've got a bunch of other original shows. But as far as storytelling goes, they break down. They're on 4 episodes, and they break down the backgrounds of the Mandalorian. And Kathleen Kennedy made a comment because they were talking about the female bounty hunter. She just drew a blank on her name too. Cara Dune. Sorry, yeah, the character. And they were talking about casting that actress in, and she made a comment. She's like, something George has always said is a great character, a great looking character has a silhouette, and just by who that is. And when you think back to all the Star Wars characters, Luke, Han, Yoda, Obi-Wan, Vader, you don't need to see them. Even think back to the moment that Luke finally sees Vader for the second time, and he's in the the chamber, and he's all you see is the silhouette, and you know exactly who that is. So with that thought with Timothy, he's got a silhouette that you will know just by looking at the silhouette. So I can definitely see that happening.
I think I told you about that last night. Is like when you were talking about silhouettes of Star Wars characters. If you look at their action figure lines right now, the Black Series, what do you see in the box besides the figure? You see the background of the silhouette of them, and then they're individuals. Like you could see any Star Wars character just by looking at their silhouettes.
Yeah, but so do yourself, you guys, do yourself a favor. Check out that gallery mini, like the behind the scenes. It's great, some great stuff. They talk about the cast, the different actors that are there for The Mandalorian. That is not just one actor. There are a few actors that play the character, but they each take their turns in doing something special. One guy's their gunfighter. One guy's their hand to hand fighter. He's known for his martial arts style. And then you have Pedro, who does pretty much the other stuff, and he does all the voiceover work. And he, what's one of the things they were talking about is, like, he can change what he's going to say because it's all done in post. And and how he says it, and how his inflections are, and everything like that. And I think one of the fun ones is they were talking about Carl Weathers, and he almost was not going to be seen. They were actually going to put makeup on Carl, and again, it kind of goes back to one of the things that we were talking about is even he was like, "Are you guys sure?" Because he's like, I don't mean to sound big, got a big head or anything, but it's me. You're going to say Carl Weathers is in here. You're not going to find him, but you're going to hear him, and that's just going to be. And they're like, yeah. So they like ripped off all the makeup and just let him stay there. And he was only supposed to be in 2 episodes. He was supposed to be in the first one, and then the third one, and he was supposed to die.
Same thing with Cara Dune, with Gina Carano. She was only supposed to be in for a couple episodes, but hey, there you go. Star Wars created new characters.
Yep.
Can you believe that?
And it's great. It's one of those things that you and I always talk about, that the new characters. I don't want a repeat of the character, but these new characters have a rhythm and familiarity. Cara, she's from Alderaan. She's one of the survivors of Alderaan. Most people don't realize that that's where she is from, and she joined the rebellion after her planet got destroyed.
Yeah, she's a shock trooper. She's
Yeah.
got a good, cool little backstory. Same thing with Weathers. He's like this former gangster or current, what was he? Did they ever say what he was? Besides a gangster?
Not really. I don't think they ever really. I don't think he
anyway.
was a gangster. I think he was more just he was the head of the bounty hunter or guild is all he was.
Oh, that's right, the guild. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he wasn't. But it's just like little things like that. He's like, I don't need to say yes. I saw him before. He's somebody I've already seen. Their familiarity because they're from the world. They're from where we now drew off familiarity with her because she's from where Princess Leia was from. So we now have that connection, and now we understand that we got a whole backstory on this woman just by saying where she was from. We all know. The second you hear that, you're like, oh, Alderaan. Yeah. Like, okay, this is where she's from. This is why she's the way she is. It's not only what she became a shock trooper, but she became the toughest one because her family's gone. Everybody she knows is gone. So it just added a full story. Like one of the things somebody, I think it was the Independent.com came out with this week, was saying that Kill, the Ugnaught, supposedly he was one of the Ugnaughts that was on Cloud City and froze Han and Carpin. I'm like, no, we don't need that.
No,
I don't need that connection. My points don't have to meet up.
See, when people do that, this is what they do to the Star Wars universe. They make it smaller. What do we want Star Wars peoples and their characters to do? We want this.
Yeah, we want to expand.
Make the world big.
And it's something you and I have always said. Mandalorian is doing just that in a subtle way, in a small way. They're expanding the universe.
That's what we wanted. I mean, to me, like the original or the latest trilogy failed to do that. They made everything smaller, and they disrespected the past characters as well, which really didn't help it. But just expand. Don't even use. I mean, I never want to hear the word Skywalker ever again. They're done. It's done. Let's just move on. There are other Jedis and sit out there. And
I mean, we can talk about who they were, but not. I don't need to see one. I don't need to see a cousin. I don't need to see Luke's, second cousin twice removed. Yeah. Hey, I'm Bubba Skywalker. I'm here to help. No, I don't need to see Bubba Skywalker. We're good. I don't need to see it.
From his ship, the SS Minnow. Bubba Skywalker.
Bubba Skywalker. Sorry, I was. So my last one actually. This one falls in the rumor category. Now I'm not big on rumors, but I will have to say where this rumor has come from has been a very reliable source. This comes from Roger Wardle. He is kind of a mover shaker in Hollywood, but he has found out some information. He's been very good on his information, by the way, that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four will clash in future films. And what they're showing and saying is that basically the MCU's Fantastic Four and X-Men will be primarily based on Earth 1610 counterparts, which means the two factions would be introduced as part of a multiverse, a convenient way to explain their absence so far. So they are still there. Should this be the way Marvel proceeds, bosses will be able to say that they planned the entire thing thanks to a blink and you'll miss it background detail from 2011's Thor: The Dark World. Again, we just did a watch-along for Thor, talking about what an important movie it is, hinting even more that this is looking good for that. Not only that, but you look at S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're doing a time travel season this season. And there's talk of that they possibly may trigger something. You have because they even make a reference. I think it's the second or third trailer they released. There's a monologue about multiverses. And that just because we do something here doesn't mean it's going to change everything. It's just going to extend into a multiverse. Also, again, you have WandaVision coming, and then of course we've talked about it before, the new Doctor Strange. So a lot of hints going around for that, and still on track and still looking like they want him and he wants to be there. John Krasinski for coming in and playing Reed Richards, and they're looking at the Breaking Bad villain Giancarlo Esposito. Also is wanted for a key part in there as well. So
Doctor Doom, make him Doctor Doom.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. But they're saying it most likely won't be till Phase 6 that we're going to start seeing anything like that. They're predicting Wolverine may appear as early as Phase 5. So we may see maybe.
I'd like to see him.
Well, honestly, I think it would have been perfect if they did a flashback to Captain America, and he's part of the Howling Commandos.
Yeah, if you had him in there, that would
been. They did that in the Avengers Assemble cartoon series. They had him there as part of the Howling Commandos. Called him Logan or Hewlett. No, they didn't even call him Logan. They called him Hewlett. No, Hewlett. Corporal Hewlett or Sergeant Hewlett, and that was it. And I was like, oh, I got excited. I didn't know what was a cartoon, but you dropped that Easter egg that he's there. But again, they're talking in the multiverse, so he really could have been part of the Captain America's Howling group. So
Howling Commandos.
Yes.
Well, hey, they haven't used the multiverse thing yet, so why not?
Yeah,
this is one of the things that they had in their back pocket. They've done their original Infinity Gauntlet series, and now if they want to use the multiverse stuff, why not? They can use it. They're allowed.
And what better way to lead into what a better way to lead into the Secret Wars is actually have the multiverses there, and then go, okay, well, now the Watchers or somebody else is overlooking them, going, hey, well, you need to battle now. Which multiverse, which universe will stay in existence? If hey, we have to choose one.
Don't be surprised that I've read something about this. This is the way that Robert Downey Jr. comes back to the MCU.
If he does, because we're talking another 5-6 years. I mean,
you can still pull him out. He could be the Iron Man from Earth 1819.
I think they're still going with the female section there. Yeah,
it's kind of like the Thor female series. Just doesn't do anything.
So apparently, the Wolverine will appear in as early as Phase 5. Although a leaked set video all but confirmed his appearance in the Disney Plus series for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Ooh. So sorry, I did not finish my paragraph. Bad reading on my part. So apparently, we will see him as soon as Falcon and Winter Soldier. So maybe that he does pull it to that. Maybe he does show up as one of the Howling Commandos then. Which would be again just a simple, hey, there he is. He's in the background. You see him out there fighting in the in the woods with everybody else, and you just see him go berserk.
Yeah, man. and they find him in Canada.
Yeah.
With the Alpha Flight. There you go. Have
So-
Sasquatch and those guys there.
Sasquatch.
You could do it. I mean, why not? You could. That's how he started. Was an Alpha Flight. So
Mhm.
you could do the little Alpha Flight cameo, and then he comes into the MCU.
Yeah.
There you go. Just solve the problem.
Very good. So that is all I have.
I got one more.
Okay.
It's a little tidbit, and it's something that we've talked about probably for a couple of years that actually sort of happened last Sunday on Batwoman. Something I didn't think was
Oh,
going
yes.
to happen,
Yes.
but did happen. And that, of course, is we got the Arrowverse's version of Bruce Wayne. Wayne Christie was cast in the role as the first live-action actor to play Bruce Wayne in the Arrowverse. Now, it's not Bruce Wayne per se. Basically, Tommy Elliott wearing the Bruce Wayne face. Let's just say that. It's not him. But going forward, this is the actor I think they're going to use for Bruce Wayne. Which, there's a lot of thoughts in my head about that. Will he or won't he show up? And I think he will show. I don't know when. But now you have the actor who's going to be Bruce Wayne. Unless they're going to change it, which I don't see that happening. That'd be kind of...
Well, they already changed it. What are you talking about? They just changed it from the crossovers.
Well, there was no Bruce Wayne across. Oh, you're talking about that's Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, they've already changed how he looks. So
Well,
don't say. But how could Kane? How could Kate recognize him when she sees him if she doesn't know what he looks like? Sorry, that they blew a fucking massive plot hole into their story. Just by the simple fact of that they should have just kept that fucking mask on him. That's all they should have done. They just should have left it alone and just done that. But because they showed Batman Bruce Wayne as Kevin Conroy, and she recognized him. So I'm something that I read, and it was kind of made sense, and it probably made more sense for me because I'm a firm believer that we won't see Batman on these, and it really was that they don't want Batman to be screwed up on, but from the television. That's why we're not going to see him that way. That's the way we probably are the most we're going to see of him, or the way you and I have talked that at the end of the series we see him just sitting there reading her notes, or in her letters. That was one of the big reasons I read. Which I thought I saved the article, but apparently it didn't. But they were talking about how WB. He is a very sensitive subject, and they want to treat him with kid gloves on everything. He is truly DC. He's now above Superman when it comes to the Golden Boy, and they don't want things done the wrong way with him. So
they'll probably just use him like Titans uses him. Just Bruce Wayne.
Just in the background. Well, we don't really need him because the second he comes back, that negates Batwoman.
Becomes a Batman show.
It becomes Batman show. So we're like I've said before, we're not going to see him because it's going to kill off her character. Again, he shows up, back of his head. Maybe he leaves her a letter, like she goes away, does something for a little bit, and then we find out, he was in town he visited for a few minutes, left her a letter of, hey, by the way, go check this cable out over here. I got some good stuff for you. We're probably gonna get like interactions that way, but I just don't.
Leaves her the key to Wayne Manor, maybe.
Well, she just breaks into the motherfucker. I mean, come on.
She breaks in everywhere.
Exactly. So.
Tower.
But I just those are the things I could say that I would see them doing is just going that route.
I think
you even look at Bruce Wayne. You look at even Bruce in Titans, and the only time he was an important factor were both dreams and Dick's conscious. The rest of the time, he didn't do anything. He answered the phone, told him where to go here, set up him to get a new suit, get the Nightwing suit. It wasn't even him in the diner. That was Raven's. Yeah. So I mean, the important moments that we were like, wow, Bruce is doing the Bruce thing. He's being Batman and dropping the mad knowledge. Wasn't him. It was the Titans that were dropping the knowledge. So, and I think the only time we see him is at the very end where he's sitting there having dinner and everybody else is going to go get suited up. He's like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
He's like,
you guys take care of this.
Yeah, that's not Bruce. Bruce will be like, yeah, let's all go out there. Let's have fun. Yeah. Well, let's make the outsiders here real quick.
Oh. wish. I wish.
Hopefully we would see something like that. I'd love to see like the Outsiders versus
But
the
it
Teen
won't be
Titans.
Batman. It'll be like Black Lightning or Red Hood or something. It won't be Batman.
No, then at that point it's Red Hood.
Oh, it's right. It is Red Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
Alan Walters did do a live Instagram chat thing, and somebody did ask him about the Red Hood, and he was kind of mumming the subject.
hey,
So I think that's coming.
it's well, I think he's mum on it because either he's been told just don't talk about it, period. That if you don't talk about it, fanboys like us start talking. Well, you didn't say anything about it. Oh, so then something must be happening. No, he just didn't fucking say anything about it.
Yeah, he didn't say a word.
he's like I don't know. I really don't know. You know something, you lying bastard.
I think he's the perfect actor to do it, though.
I
That's
think
what
he
I've
would,
seen.
yeah. But again,
I
it's
could see that turn in him too. Like I could see him just going insane.
but again, it's Red Hood. It could be anybody under the mask. So it does to me. It doesn't matter who the actor is. It would preferably be somebody else. We know that's not going to happen. But again, it could be kind of a Ray Park situation where it's Ray Park or a more physical actor doing it and having somebody's voiceover as
They
the
should have that'd be
you know,
awesome. Ray
you-
Park as Red Hood. Jesus.
but
He's ass kicking.
hell yeah, he still kick ass. I mean, if anybody saw the last Clone Wars series, that was his fighting for the animated stuff.
That's him as Maul again, man. He came back.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll check it out though. So yeah, so I think we're gonna get that Bruce Wayne eventually in Arrow, but not now. But he won't be Batman. But I can see Bruce Wayne showing up then, and maybe for an episode. Hey Kate, how you doing? Yeah, here's the keys. You can't drive the Batmobile by.
Yeah. I put the boot on there. You can't. the bat boot.
Bat boot.
All right, so that is all I have. Do you have anything else?
No, that's all I got
See?
for news.
Nice. So this week I don't have a poll. I've been working on one, and actually I'm going to complete it next week. And it's actually for an up and coming show for our movie that's coming out on Netflix called Old Guard. It is a 2017, graphic novel. So a friend of ours showed me the trailer, and and she's like, "Yeah, that's a graphic novel." I was like, "I have not heard of this one." So it looks quite interesting, and basically a group of mercenaries that are kind of stuck through time, almost a Highlander type thing. Charlize Theron's in the movie, so if anybody gets a chance, check out that trailer on Netflix. I think it's out sometime in June. But I will be. I've got that. It's on our Facebook page if anybody wants to go there and check that out. Where a lot of other things have been on, so we've been trying to be more active. We got our weekly, daily events that are going on. I've also started sending out some new like questionnaire things that if anybody's interested, jump in. We love and thank everybody who has become a member of the Heroes Asylum Facebook page. You guys are great. The communities, great. You guys have made everybody feel welcome. I haven't seen any negativity from anybody.
Nope, not yet. And if I see any,
yeah.
I'm gonna kick you out.
Yeah, you're looking at the two admins, so yeah, you're gonna you'll be gone pretty
You're
quick.
gonna deal with us.
Yeah, we are sitting just shy of 700. So guys, if anybody's listening, and you are a Facebook member, send it out. Send out a bunch of invites. Let's break 700. I would love to be 1,000 by the end of the year. That's like my personal goal. But yeah, let's bump it up to at least get up to 700. And if you're not a member of the Facebook page, go to streamlinks.com/heroes_asylum. You can find the links to all of our social media groups and get on board there. But like I said, Facebook and the other ones, Kane will go over those here in a bit. But you guys can also check us out on heroesasylum.com where we have a lot of our shows. Our most current shows are linked there. Some information about Kane and I. And if you guys want to get a hold of us, that's a quick way of getting a hold of us. I need to start. I redid the website about 3 weeks ago. I just haven't continued to update it, so I need to start getting on that here shortly.
Twitter at the Heroes Asylum Twitter page. We've been posting some stuff on there, good stuff. What They Say is on there. Tuesday Titan, Women Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Friday Night Fights. I sent in my reports for the week. The captain has calculated all the information, and he's going to be starting releasing that. I think the photo for Monday is going to be. I sent you that picture. You don't like that one.
Yeah, I saw those. Yeah.
Check that out. The Instagram page is the same stuff. The Facebook page, the main area of contact. Contact us there. The likes and the shares. I mean, there's so many people on that page. I don't even know who they are, but I'm glad they're there. Appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Also, check out our sister page, Midnight Movies. We actually dropped another one late last night, which I'm going to call 2 a.m. movies. That'll be the first and probably the last time we'll end up doing it, but you never know.
No, I don't think so. I'm the one that always says, no, we're not doing it anymore, and then we end up doing it. So now this time I'm saying, no, we'll do it again, and maybe we'll never do it again. Trying some reverse psychology on your ass this time.
Okay, you never know, but we did Constantine. It was actually a fun little movie watching it again, and if you look at it from a different prism, it's actually pretty good. But check that out, Midnight Movies. We got tons of stuff on there. We're continuing to do our Avengers initiative. We finished Thor: The Dark World, and next month we're going to dive in deeper. We're going to go to the second Avengers movie, The Age of Ultron, Avengers 2. And then one of my movie picks is coming up next month, too, which is another part of our series. And we got an interesting one, a very interesting one that I think the captain's going to enjoy. So check us out there. Like I said, the likes and the shares. And as always, from the captain to me to you, get to the asylum.
See ya.